The Lynette Brown Show. This be the Lynette Brown Show.
She's always ready and on time.
The Lynette Brown Show.
When you got something that's on your mind.
The Lynette Brown Show.
Whatever you got going on, she knows the deal.
The Lynette Brown Show.
Where we always keep it real.
Welcome to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. Whew. I am the fiery diva, keeping the airwaves hot on your favorite station, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you so much for tuning in with me. Got a nice show lined up for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview last week with Don Cowell. I have an interview also this week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be talking with James Hickman today, and he's going to talk to us about his bout with mental illness. He was actually diagnosed with mental illness in the late 90s. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about that. But before I go into all of that, this portion of the show is brought to you in parts by Charlie Holly for Congress, okay? He is actually wanting to grab that 5th district seat, okay? So this portion of the show is brought to you in parts by Charlie Holly for Congress. But we're going to go into a quick commercial break. When I come back, we'll go right into this interview with James. And here is Blue Diamond. Ooh, I have to be, I'm nice to you, Blue Diamond. I'm your friend, Blue Diamond. Okay. Well, anyway, this is Blue Diamond, ladies and gentlemen. You can come out here to Sandy's Jewelry and you can check out Blue Diamond.
Hi there. I'm Johnny Smith, manager here at Colors Precision Paint and Body. We'd like to send out a thank you for supporting us for 21 years of business this year. If you need anything, our phone number is 256-773-6272.
And I'd like to thank those of you who voted for me on August 28th. For those of you who voted for others, I'd like the opportunity to earn your vote on October 9th. That's why I'm holding town hall meetings all across Decatur. I invite you to come join me to discuss the issues that are important to you and to the future of Decatur.
To find a town hall meeting near you, visit our website, kyleformayor.org, or call us at 256-642-5813. Vote Don Kyle. Expect more.
Welcome back to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South. I am the fiery diva, keeping the airwaves hot on your favorite station. We have James Hickman, and James is the author of The Mindful Son. He has also suffered from a debilitating mental illness called, of course, you guys are very familiar with it, I'm sure, schizophrenia. James, thank you so much for coming up and being a part of the Lynette Brown Show.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me to the show.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about The Mindful Son, and of course, I've read this book. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's opened my eyes to so many things, James. I mean, you've opened my eyes, and I'm sure once people get this book, it'll do the same for them. Now, let's talk a little bit. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, I knew I had a story that could reach potentially millions of lives and inspire other people to be their best. And I've been carrying this story around with me for many years.
Okay.
I knew it would benefit a lot of lives.
Okay.
And that's what keeps me going.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this now. What was the first red flag that kind of told you, hey, you know, something is not right? Because we know when there's a red flag, there's a parade down the road. What was the first indication that something wasn't quite right?
Well, I had been experiencing delusions for a couple of weeks before it dawned on me that it might be a part of a mental illness. And that was after one of my professors indicated to me that they thought I should go to the Student Health Center at the University of Alabama.
Okay.
And that was the first indicator that what I was experiencing might just be something that I was experiencing, not everybody else
Right.
around me.
Now, schizophrenia, of course, now your mom and your brother suffered from schizophrenia, but it's not always genetic. Of course, it can be trauma-induced as well. And as we talked about earlier, I know that everyone carries around that 1% component. And so everybody is, very well could be diagnosed with schizophrenia. So it's not some oddball mental illness. It could very well happen to anyone.
And I've even seen, with the clients I've worked in, I'm as a therapist at the mental health center, I've seen people 60 and 70 years old that develop schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it's people, in men it usually occurs around the late teens, early 20s. My case is 21. Women usually are diagnosed with it in the middle 20s or early 30s.
Okay. For those who have just tuned in, we are talking with James Hickman, and he is the author of The Mindful Son. He has a condition called schizophrenia. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that. Let's just talk a little bit about your condition. Are you ashamed? Were you ashamed when you were first diagnosed?
I was. There's so much stigma that's attached to mental illness. Even today, I was diagnosed in 1996, and the stigma was just that much worse back then. But yeah, I mean, stigma that I had internalized about people with mental illness,
Right.
even before I was diagnosed, that I'd internalized was now something that I had to deal with on a personal level.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit because in the book, I was so empathetic because you talked about the women, the relationships that you had, and the way you were treated once they found out that you indeed had this condition. And do you think that's why so many people keep it hidden or ashamed of it, don't want people to know about it? Because I know just for the traditional relationships are difficult. And do you think that that's partly the reason why?
I think it is a big reason why. There's just so much misunderstanding about mental illness for a variety of reasons. Not everybody in the media is as empathetic and as understanding as you are. There's some media programs that will actually sensationalize mental illness, and it creates stigma in the community. But so I'm thankful that to be associated with a media figure that's trying to have a positive spin on understanding mental illness.
Well, James, could you give us like some reassurance to that mother, that father, that sister, that brother that has got the devastating news that their loved one has been diagnosed with schizophrenia?
Well, for the families out there that are facing this illness, there's hope out there. People with mental illnesses are in every profession. They live happy lives. They're married, have children, are family members, and members of churches, and 99% of people with mental illnesses are living.
They're functioning.
Yeah, well, and the ones that are receiving treatment, I should say, they're functioning. There's a lot of people in society that aren't
Undiagnosed, and to me, that's the worst catastrophe. Is someone walking around with, this undiagnosed mental illness, and you see that a lot, and you're thinking, okay, something is not quite right with that person, but that person has got to want that help.
Yes, ma'am. There's so much denial. We talked about the stigma associated with mental illness. It leads to a lot of denial. And even when people are diagnosed, sometimes it could be very, very difficult for them to accept the fact that they've got to deal with this illness. Even in my own case, it was many years before I finally said to myself, "Hey, this is a mental illness, and I've got to to deal with it. I mean, everyone around me was telling me that.
Right.
A lot of times the symptoms of delusions and paranoia, hallucinations, those could be so real in somebody with a psychotic disorder that the symptoms can seem so real that that makes it harder.
And that it's harder to accept when the symptoms seem like that everybody else is seeing what you're seeing. So therefore, I don't have a problem. Well, I want to ask you this: is mental illness more prevalent now today due to the levels of of course, widespread drug usage and high stress levels?
I think it is. With the rise in drug usage does create, unfortunately, it does create
That
more.
triggers it also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And you said we're seeing it in younger and younger folks these days.
Yes.
That's kind of the scary part, is how young we see the prevalence of mental illness reaching a younger group of folks.
Well, let's go back to the signs. Of course, some of the signs: lack of sleep, too much sleep, audio illusions, video illusions, and then audio illusions are, of course, are things that you see no one else sees. Video illusions are things that you see that no one else sees, and audio illusions are things that you hear and no one else hears. But I want to talk to you about the temperature. You had mentioned something about the temperature. The temperatures are different with people with mental illness. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Oftentimes they are. Sometimes people with psychotic disorders like schizophrenia, they might feel extremely cold when everyone else is feeling hot. So if you see someone wearing a heavy coat in the middle of summer, that they might be suffering from a psychotic disorder.
Okay. Well, I would like for you to enlighten the public of the importance of staying on your meds, taking your medication. That's another thing I think people are ashamed of. They don't want the stigma of, well, he's on medication, or he's crazy, or he's getting a crazy check. I think that's what a lot of people are actually ashamed of. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of remaining on your meds. Because once people have been on it, they'll, as soon as the doctor releases them, of course, they'll take them maybe a day or two, and they say, hey, I feel fine, and then they stop taking it.
Medication is key. You've got to stay on your medication. I know that there's so much stigma involved, and it's hard to have to keep up with the medication. And a lot of times people will get to feeling better, and then that's when they think they don't need the medication. But in reality, it's the medication that's helping them to stay level. So taking medication is important. Finding the right medication is important. And there's one thing about it is there can be some side effects that people have to deal with when they start taking these medications. But you do get used to the side effects, and they can be treated by the doctor, but that's something that prevents people from taking their medication sometimes.
Okay. Well, one thing that I know that I spoke with you about this earlier, taking the medication, okay, it's like, high blood pressure medicine, diabetes. You can't control your high blood pressure. You can't control that by yourself.
Right.
Okay, and a lot of people, and I think another thing is with the stigma, people are ashamed because people make a mockery of mental illness. They make fun of it. But would you make fun of someone that has cancer? Would you make fun of that lady that lost her hair due to chemotherapy, that lost her breast, due to chemotherapy? Would you make fun of somebody like that? So I think that all of us need to be cognizant of things like that and be more empathetic towards people with mental illness.
Yes, ma'am. And really, mental illness really is a kind of physical illness, because the brain runs on chemical reactions, and a mental illness is basically just an imbalance of those chemicals, and the medication can correct the chemical imbalance, just like insulin could correct a diabetic condition, or cholesterol medication will correct high cholesterol, or chemotherapy with cancer.
Well, I want you to speak briefly about how you are living with your mental illness, how you have persevered.
Well, as you know, I'm a therapist. I've been a therapist for almost a decade now.
Great.
And I've worked as a professional with people with all kinds of mental illnesses. And I've done a lot of outreach. I was president of the National Alliance for Mental Illness here in Decatur for 2 years. And
you're a college graduate also.
Right, I graduated.
Let's not leave that out.
I graduated from University of Alabama in 1997, and then about 5 years later, after I was able to get my sea legs in terms of coping with mental illness, I was able to start work on my master's degree from Alabama A&M in the social work department.
Okay.
And that's what allowed me to become a therapist.
Wow. Well, let's just talk a little bit. You have a book signing that's coming up. Where would that be?
It's at the Huntsville Public Library on October the 11th from 6:30 to 8. I'll be speaking and then having my book available for people to purchase.
Okay. Well, how can we get this wonderful book? Like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I spoke with my children about it. So it's a good book to have because, I mean, if you live here in society, you know, you're going to know someone that has cancer. You will know someone maybe in your family that suffers from mental illness. So this is a book I think is for everyone. I certainly enjoyed reading it. So how can we get this book?
My website is at www.themindfulsun.com, and you can purchase the book right through the website. You can purchase the book at my book signings, and I plan to have the book available on Amazon.com
Okay.
very soon as well.
Wonderful. Well, James, I thank you so much for coming up and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Where Art Thou? Men's Conference, November 9th, 10th, and 11th at Apostolic Church of God, located at 605 Washington Street, Decatur, Alabama. Health screening for men. Call for free registration, 256-351-1463. Again, that number is 256-351-1463. We look forward to seeing you.
We're all gathered here in your presence, Lord, with our arms open wide, with lifted hands and with open hearts. We welcome you.
Sharks, Fish, and Chicken, Chicago style. We fry fresh fish and chicken. Visit Sharks for the best fish and chicken.
So I came all the way from Murfreesboro, Tennessee for Sharks. Love the chicken, love the fish. And I could have went anywhere for lunch, true enough, but I came here, so love it.
Catfish was fantastic. I would highly recommend it.
2850 North Parkway, north of Max Luther. 256-852-0966. Sharks, Fish, and Chicken.
Welcome to Hartselle, Alabama, right here at Eddie Pruitt Ford, but most importantly to our gigantic 27-year anniversary special where we're going to save you more money you can dream of. In fact, in celebration of this 27th anniversary sale, we're going to offer you any new car or truck on the lot for only $27 over cost. If there's one thing in 27 years right here at Eddie Pruitt Ford that we've learned, it is price sells cars. We're going to save you more money than you can find anywhere in Tennessee Valley. You come see us today.
Anybody, if they need any homeowners insurance or car insurance or life insurance, I'll be more than glad to help them with it. I will give them our best price that we have, and also after they get the insurance, I will be the agent for life to take care of them if they have any claims, anything that you want me to work with you don't know about insurance. I will. When I talk to you, I will give you the whole, you know, much as I know about insurance.
Charles Holly, and I'm watching the Lynette Brown Show.
The Lynette Brown Show. This be the Lynette Brown Show.
She's always ready and on time.
The Lynette Brown Show.
When you got something that's on your mind.
The Lynette Brown Show.
Whatever you got going on, she knows the deal.
The Lynette Brown Show.
Well, we always keep it real.
I'm so in love with you. Come on, sing with me. Whatever you want to do, up in the balcony, it's all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. And I want to spend my life with you. Let me say that since we've been together, I hear you loving you. That's it, is what I need. Oh, let me be the one you come running to. Oh, baby, look, and I'll never be now everybody join. Everybody say, hey. What you say? Say it to me. Oh, I don't believe this. Loving you whether times are good or bad, you're sad or all right. I love you tonight, Memphis. Whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Why do people what? Said Tana. Oh, you got it, man. I just can't see. Come on, but you never do that too. Oh man, you sound good. Being around you is all I can see. Everybody sing.
I'd like to thank those of you who voted for me on August 28th. For those of you who voted for others, I'd like the opportunity to earn your vote on October 9th. That's why I'm holding town hall meetings all across Decatur. I invite you to come join me to discuss the issues that are important to you and to the future of Decatur.
To find a town hall meeting near you, visit our website, kyleformayor.org, or call us at 256-642-5813. Vote Don Kyle. Expect more.
Sharks Fish and Chicken, Chicago style. We fry fresh fish and chicken. Visit Sharks for the best fish and chicken.
So I came all the way from Murfreesboro, Tennessee for Sharks. Love the chicken, love the fish. And I could have went anywhere for lunch, true enough, but I came here, so love it.
Catfish was fantastic. I would highly recommend it.
2850 North Parkway, north of Max Luther. 256-852-0966. Sharks Fish and Chicken.
Okay, yes, I really like that movie. I guess you guys can tell. But my time is running out, okay? Anyway, it's Diva I Wanted. I messed you guys up last week, didn't I? I'm sorry. Oops, Diva's bad. I had to get those interviews out, okay? And I got more interviews coming up also, okay? Now, we've got something we're doing a little differently on Diva I Wanted, okay? Now I've got a question, okay? Now, do you remember the 70s series? You remember Bewitched? Okay, what was Samantha's aunt's name? You remember she used to be messing up spells and everything? To say the least, she was perplexed, okay? Text me right now, Diva I Want It, and text me her name. She was always confused, okay? She was Samantha's auntie, okay? And if you can text that to me right now, guess what you're going to Cheddar's? 256-566-5854, all right? All right, we've got to move on though, okay? Now, here's another question. You guys remember Laverne and Shirley? Okay, Shirley had a little black cat. Okay, what was that cat's name? Okay, in Laverne and Shirley. If you can answer that question, guess what? You're going to Olive Garden. Yes, I got this gift card right now. Thank you, Olive Garden, for working with the LBS. I told you, it's going to be more than that coming up. You guys have no idea, okay? So keep it locked right here. But if you can tell me the name of that little black cat on Laverne and Shirley, okay? That was Shirley's little black cat, okay? Text me right now, Diva I Want It, and give me the name of that black cat. But you know what? I got something else I want to ask. Yeah, I used to like Laverne and Shirley also. Okay, now I've got Dreamland Barbecue. I've got a gift certificate to Dreamland Barbecue. If you can tell me who Shirley's boyfriend was, okay? What was Shirley's boyfriend's name? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all probably think Diva's got too much time on her hands, but I stayed up. I'm gonna say it was late one night talking to a friend of mine, and we were going over all these different sitcoms and series, okay? So it's just more to come, okay? But 256-566-5854, I am the Diva. Thank you guys for tuning in to the LBS, the hottest, the biggest, the baddest talk show of the South.
Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get down? Tell me. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get out? Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get out? Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get out? Tell me. Get down on it.